In our last episode of Last Night on Earth, the heroes prepared as best they could for the imminent zombie assault on Woodinvale. While Father Joseph prayed in his church, for zombies smashed through the walls and moved towards him, forcing him to flee. On the steps of the church, the wily old priest was accosted by 3 of the undead. In the distance, Nikki saw that Father Joseph was under siege, and she turned and aimed her signal flare at one zombie approaching the priest. Her shot hit the creature's center mass, and it burst into a giant fireball. Meanwhile, at the town center, Johnny and Amanda took stock of what they had. Johnny had found several sticks of dynamite in his garage, but he needed a fire source to light the fuses. Amanda took off and ran past Johnny and rushed into the bank. She later emerged with an emergency flare and handed it to Johnny. Just then, he spotted a large group of zombies moving toward Nikki from the north. He lit the fuses and threw the dynamite as far as he could. The bundle of TNT landed in the center of the zombie horde and it exploded with a deafening explosion. After the smoke cleared, only chunks of meat remained where the zombies had stood. At that point, Nikki remembered that there might be extra flares in the airplane hangar, and she sprinted toward its location. Once in the hangar, she spotted a pump shotgun propped up against the wall. She grabbed the gun and cycled around into the chamber. Just then, she heard the moan of 3 zombies mindlessly wandering around near the center of town. She took aim and fired. Her shot was dead on as it tore through the ranks of the undead, dropping 3 of the biters with a single blast.
Hello everyone, and thanks for joining me at the Solo Gamers Club. Tonight we're going to be continuing with part 2 of our first episode of our campaign series for Last Night on Earth, the zombie game. For the moment, the heroes are doing quite well. They've already eliminated 9 of the 15 required zombies they'll need to win the game. I made a few tactical errors in controlling the zombies. As soon as Johnny ended up having that dynamite, I should have dispersed those zombies that we had coming from the barn and from the hospital. I should have dispersed those, and that would have been much more difficult for him to have used that dynamite. That was a tactical error on my part, so I'm going to try to be more cognitive of those issues. When the heroes have weapons that can kill multiple zombies in a single space, we need to disperse those. That would have been a smart tactical play for us. All right, we're going to get started with the next turn, and it's the sun track is going to move from 14 down to 13. And our next step is going to be to draw new zombie cards. So they'll be drawing 3 cards. And the zombies draw the following cards: Fire, Growing Hunger, and Outsider. 2 of those are play immediately cards, so we're going to play those right now. First one is Fire. It says a fire breaks out. Place a fire marker in any empty space adjacent to a zombie. Okay, let's take a look at that. Alright, so the zombie player has to place a fire marker in a space that is empty and adjacent to a zombie. So I guess we'll place it in the middle. Starts out with the new fire, and we'll use one of our fire models. So that breaks out in the middle of the board. And the next play immediately card is a Growing Hunger. While this card is in play, all zombies roll an extra fight dice. Discard this card if any hero is killed or turned into a zombie hero remains in play. All right, we're going to place that on our card rack for the zombies. It lists all of their remains in play cards. All right, their next card is Outsider, and that says play this card at the start of a zombie turn on any hero. That hero may no longer use building special abilities. All right, well, I think we're going to play that card on Nikki because She technically, we know that there is that signal flare in the hero deck, and that is the pickup item for the airplane hangar where she's at. So I think Outsider would be a good, the card would be good to play on her, and then she won't be able to use those special abilities in the building any longer. And next up, we're going to roll to spawn new zombies. Now we currently have a total of 5 zombies on the board, so any roll higher than 5 will be successful for them. And here's the roll. They rolled an 8, so the zombies will spawn this turn. We'll place those dice on the zombie pool, and then that will remind us that they are going to spawn this turn. All right. And now next is going to be move zombies. And we'll start in this southwest corner here. Definitely zombie hunger is going to kick in against Johnny. So that's definitely going to be, it would either be Johnny or Amanda. And I think we'll make it Johnny. These other ones will move closer to her. That'll kind of help to block. Yeah, I think we'll go there. And then it's just the 2 zombies in the church, and they're going to probably try to head for Father Joseph. And that will be the limits of the zombie movement. And now we're going to go on to fight heroes. And we do have one battle, and that's Johnny against a zombie in the center area. All right, some things we should be aware of in this fight. Johnny is tough. It says he wins fights on a tie. So the zombies will no longer have that winning ties against, at least against Johnny. Johnny is going to start out with 2 fight dice. The zombies are going to get their normal 1 fight dice. And with their remains in play card, Growing Hunger, they're going to receive an extra fight die until that card is discarded. So we have to try to work towards getting rid of that card. Okay, that is the limits. Now the next step here we have to do is roll to see if the zombies will have a fight card available to them. 9 or 10, they'll get one. They rolled a 7. So there's no fight card for them. And we're going to roll those dice and see what happens. Okay, here is the roll. All right. These are the results. So Johnny and the zombies tied. And Johnny is going to win ties because of his tough ability. So all he does is he's managed to fend them off. That's it. Okay, then we're going to move on to step 6, and that's place newly spawned zombies. So we're going to roll a d6, and the zombies will be able to spawn that many zombies on the board. And they rolled a 3, so they've got a total of 3 spawn points. And I think what they're going to do is they're going to spawn 1 standard zombie along with spending 2 spawn points to get a zombie with grave weapons. And that zombie is Rusty Axe. The zombie rolls an extra fight dice. In addition, before fight dice are rolled, the zombie player may choose one of the hero's hand weapons that they may not use during this fight. Ooh, okay. All right, we have a zombie with grave weapons now. It has an orange base, and we have a token underneath it that determines what it has. In this case, it's the Rusty Axe. And then we have 1 standard zombie. So we're going to place those as we normally would on the spawning pits. And I'm going to choose to put the Rusty Axe zombie in the junkyard. And we'll put the standard zombie in the graveyard. All right, and then this card will be kept off to the side to remind us what the function of that Rusty Axe is. All right, and now we're going to go on to what is called a fire phase. Since we have an active fire on the board, we have to go through a fire phase. Now, the 10th edition, 10th anniversary edition, gives us these help cards for some of the more complex mechanics in the game. One of them is fire markers. So I'll bring that card up on the screen, and it reads, when a fire marker is placed in a space, any model there takes a wound on a d6 roll of 4, 5, or 6, or a 5 or 6 instead if a zombie. When a model enters a space and or ends their move in a space with a fire marker, roll to wound that model again as above. During the fire phase, after each zombie turn, roll a d6 for every existing fire. On a roll of 1, it goes out, remove it. On a roll of 5 or 6, it spreads. Roll and add a new fire in the direction shown on the fire marker. A hero may discard any fire item as a ranged attack to automatically start a fire in an adjacent space. Okay, well in this case, we have what's called a new fire. And that's the side of the token that doesn't have any directional arrows. So at the end of the fire phase, we're supposed to flip new fires to existing fires. And that's when they've got that pattern, directional pattern on it. So this now becomes an existing fire. And next turn we would roll to determine if it goes out or spreads. And that is going to complete the zombie phase, and we'll move on to the hero turn. All right, we're going to begin the hero turn. I think we're going to activate Nikki. She has that pump shotgun, and I'm going to try to move her into position where she can start a blasting. So we'll make a d6 roll for her movement. Okay, here's her roll. And she rolls a 4, so she's got 4 movement points. Okay, let's see what we can do with that. All right, I think we're going to have Nikki move into this area and put her in range of a couple of those zombies with her pump shotgun. So she's going to move 1, 2, and 3. And that'll give her a little protection in case the fire was to spread. And she's still in range of 2 zombies there. So that'll work out pretty good. And now it's time for her ranged attack phase. And she's going to use that pump shotgun. And I think Nikki is going to target the zombie that's in Johnny's space. The shotgun tells us that any hero in that space is unaffected. So she has a range of 2, 1, 2. She'll target that zombie for use with the pump shotgun. And she's going to hit on a 3 or greater. Here's the roll. And she rolled a 6. Another success. The zombie is dead. All right. We'll move up our track from 9 to 10 now. We still need 5 more zombies to kill to win the game. Now we have to roll to see if the shotgun is out of ammo, and it will be on a 1 or 2. And yeah, she rolled a 2, so the shotgun is going to go to the discard pile. And then we'll place that zombie in the zombie pool. All right, now we should keep in mind that that pump shotgun now is in the discard pile of the hero deck, and we can, one of the pickup items at the police station is a pump shotgun. So one of the heroes could go in there and try to get that. All right, and that's going to complete Nikki's turn. We'll mark her here as previously activated. And I think up next we're going to have Johnny is going to activate. Now, Johnny has some XP that he can spend to get an upgrade, and I think we're going to do that. I'm going to have Johnny spend his 3 XP, and then he's going to draw, I think, a melee card, melee upgrade. And that card is revealed to be boxing. Once per fight, the hero may re-roll one of their fight dice. And with 2 XP, it can be boosted. Instead of once per fight, the hero may re-roll any number of their fight dice. So that's pretty powerful. All right, we'll give that to Johnny. All right, Johnny's going to roll for movement now. And he rolled a 2. He's got 2 movement points. And I think I'm going to move Johnny towards the police station where he can maybe use that pickup item there. So we'll move him 1 and 2. And that's going to end Johnny's turn. All right, next up I think will be Amanda, and we are going to have her roll for movement. And we'll see how much she can get for a movement roll. Okay, here's her roll. And she rolls a 4, so she's got 4 movement points. And I think she's going to move into the police station. So we'll move her 1, 2, and 3. She moves into the police station, and we'll turn over that exploration token, see what that says. And that's a free search, so she gets a free card. And the card is revealed to be dynamite. Okay, so Amanda picked up a couple of sticks of dynamite. That's interesting. Along with that double-handed flashlight and pitchfork, she's used up 3 of her 4 slots for encumbrance. And that's going to end Amanda's turn, and we got Father Joseph left right now. Okay, Father Joe's going to roll for movement. And he rolls a 1. He's got 1 movement point. And I think Father Joe will move 1 point north, and we'll try to eventually get him in maybe into the diner, and he can use that exploration token maybe. All right, that is going to end the hero turn. We'll move on to another zombie turn. And one thing I forgot about is when Nikki used her pump shotgun and she took out that zombie, she should have earned another XP, so that'll be her second XP. We'll put that on her card for her. And now it is time to move the sun track. We go from 13 down to 12. And the heroes need to kill 5 more zombies to win the scenario. And next up, we're going to draw new zombie cards. All right, the new cards are That's Not Good, Resilient, and Locked Door. First one is That's Not Good. Play on a zombie when they are about to take a wound and prevent the wound on a d6 of 3+. Okay, well, we'll place that in their tableau of cards. It can be used in the future. Next is Resilient. Play when a zombie is hit or killed by a gun to immediately discard the gun. Okay, so that's an interesting card. And the last one is Locked Door. Play this card when a hero tries to move through a door. The door is locked and the hero's move ends in the space before the door. Okay, so those are all reactive cards, and we'll play those when possible. All right, now we have to roll to spawn new zombies. We've got a total of 6 on the board, so any roll greater than 6 will spawn some. And they rolled an 8. So they're going to be spawning zombies. We'll place those dice in the zombie pool, excuse me, to remind us. And incidentally, since we have a grave dead on the board, one of the zombies has to be set aside from the zombie pool to make up for that, because you're still only, that is considered to be like a substitute for a standard zombie. So you can't increase the zombie pool with grave weapons. And next up is going to be Move Zombies. Okay, well, I think we'll have our rusty axe friend move towards the center of the board. This guy here is going to move there, and that will maybe block that entrance into the gas station. And then we've got 3 zombies in the southeast corner, and those are going to move one there, one there, and one there. And then the zombie in the bank, I guess he'll just crash through the wall and head towards the 2 heroes that we got near the police station. All right, that's going to complete the move step. There will be no combat, so there's no fights. And we'll move on to place newly spawned zombies. Okay, here's the roll. And they get a total of 6 spawn points. Okay. All right, so the zombies have a total of 6 spawn points. Now those grave weapons, they're able to either use those to spawn new zombies, or we can use those grave weapons cards on existing zombies. That might be a better bet. So I think we're going to use all 6 of our spawn points to produce 3 zombies with grave weapons. And we're going to select that one, and I think this one. All right. And the first one's that one that's nearest Nikki, and that's going to be Recently Dead. The zombie may move D3 plus 1 spaces instead of their normal move. Okay. And so we're going to replace that zombie with a Recently Dead marker. And we'll use a model that might work with that. That's actually one with a machete, but that's all right. And then this zombie will go off to the side out of the zombie pool. And we'll draw the next card. And that one is going to be the one nearest the bank. And that one is Sickle. The zombie rolls an extra fight dice. In addition, once per fight, the zombie may force the hero to re-roll one of their fight dice. Okay, we'll get a Sickle out. And we'll replace that zombie with a Sickle zombie. All right. And then we'll place the new one, the one nearest Johnny there, and that one is going to be another Rusty Axe. Okay. And we'll exchange that zombie for a Rusty Axe zombie. All right. All right, and then we're going to close out the zombie turn with a fire phase, and we're going to determine what happens with that existing fire. On a 1, it goes out. On a 5 or 6, it spreads. Anything else, and it just stays there. Okay, here's the roll. He rolled a 1. Fire is extinguished. Okay, the fire is removed from the board, and we'll move on to our hero's turn. Okay, I think the strategy here is to not take too many risks. We only need to kill another 4 zombies to win the game. So I think if we can try to get some ranged weapons, we should be able to kill them from a distance without having to engage them in hand-to-hand. So I've got plenty of time. It's turn 12 now. So I think we'll try to get the heroes into some of these buildings with exploration markers and maybe give us a free hero card. We know we can get a pump shotgun in the police station. So I think we'll try to proceed along those lines. All right, I'm going to start out with Nikki. She's within 1 space of a recently dead. Now he moves at a D3 plus 1, so he's a little faster. So we'll see what kind of a movement roll she can get. And hopefully she can roll a little bit more than average. Here we go. And she rolled a 2, so that's not real good. I think I'm going to move her into the cornfield for the moment. It'll give her a little protection. So she's going to move 1 and 2. I think that's a good start there. There's really nothing else I can do with her. So we're going to end her turn. We'll move on to, I think, Amanda. Okay, Amanda is in the police station, and she is going to forego her movement roll. And I'm going to have her use the pickup option, which is the pump shotgun. So she's going to be able to reclaim that pump shotgun that was in the discard pile, and we'll add that to her tableau. Now the problem is she has a flashlight and pitchfork and dynamite. So one of the cards is going to have to get dropped if we take this pump shotgun, because we would be over our limit, I believe. 2, 3, no, it would not. She can technically do it. It's a double-handed weapon. I'm going to have to look into that a little bit. No, I looked it up. There would be no problem unless that this was a double-handed weapon. Then she'd be over the limit. But right now she's got a double-handed item, which is that flashlight and pitchfork, dynamite, and then the pump shotgun. So she'd be at maximum carrying capacity. And now we're going to move on to her ranged attack step. And I think what she's going to do is she's going to shoot out the window, and she's going to target this zombie with a sickle there. And we'll see what happens with that. Okay, so Amanda's going to lean out the window, and she's going to target that zombie with the sickle 2 spaces away. She's going to kill it on a roll of 3 or greater. And the roll is a 2. She missed. Okay, now we have to roll to see if the shotgun is out of ammo. And she rolls a 3, so it's okay. She just missed with the weapon, that's all. And that's going to end Amanda's turn. I think we'll move on to Father Joe. He's outside the diner right now. Father Joe's going to activate, and he'll roll for movement. He rolls a 4, so he's got 4 movement points to use this turn. And I think he's going to run into the farmhouse. And he can take advantage of that exploration token. So he's going to move 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we'll find out what the exploration token is. It's a free search. So he's able to draw a hero card. Father Joe ends up getting a tire iron. Has a combat bonus attached to it. It says spend 1 experience token to add or subtract 1 from a single fight die just rolled, yours or an opponent's. After each use, it breaks on a d6 roll of 1 or 2, which is discarded. Okay, well, we'll give that to Father Joe. He does have some XP he can use. And last up is going to be Johnny. He's outside the police station, and I think probably would be best served to try to move him into the space with Amanda, and they can exchange some items there, I think. We're going to roll for movement for him. He rolls a 1. He's not too quick. Okay, so I guess that's what we're going to do. I'll have him move into the space with Amanda. He'll gain that bonus with from her called Beautiful, which any male hero in the same space can roll an extra fight dice, so that's good for him there. And next up is the exchange items step. So him and Amanda can exchange some items. And I think what's going to happen there is she's going to give him that dynamite again. And that'll be good. I'll leave her with the pump shotgun. She's already used that this turn anyway, so even if she gave it to Johnny, he wouldn't be able to use it this turn. And I think we're going to end the hero turn there, and we'll get ready for another zombie turn. And we start the new zombie turn with the sun track phase, and that's going to move it from 12 down to 11. The hero's got 11 turns to get 4 more zombie kills to win. And next up is draw new zombie cards. Okay, those that we had in their list that we couldn't play. Actually, we could have played one, and that was that locked door card. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold that one over, because as soon as they entered into that, Johnny entered into the building, that could have been the locked door card played there. So we'll preserve that for another turn, and he's going to draw an additional 3 zombie cards. So we'll draw those and see what they get. Okay, the zombie cards are Shamble. Play this card to move a zombie d6 spaces instead of its normal move. Then we have Trip. Play this card on any hero to force them to re-roll their movement dice. And finally, Out of Luck. Play to force a hero to re-roll a break test just made for an item, or play when a zombie is killed by a gun to immediately discard the gun on a d6 roll of 3+. Okay. And then those cards will be in addition to that locked door card. Okay, next up is the roll to spawn new zombies. Now we have a total of 6 zombies on the map, so any roll over 6 is going to spawn some zombies. Okay, and here's their roll. And they rolled a 3, so they're not going to have any new zombies this turn. And next up is going to be move zombies. All right. Well, we have a Shamble card that they're going to be playing. That's for sure. That says to move a zombie d6 spaces instead of its normal move. And I think we'll play that on this Rusty Axe zombie down here. He's the farthest away from the action. And we also have a recently dead zombie. That's going to be a d3+1 movement for that zombie. The other ones would be moving their standard. So we'll play that Shamble card on this Rusty Axe zombie. He's going to be able to move d6 spaces. Okay, here's the roll. And he rolled a 2. Okay, well, 2 is better than 1, I suppose. All right, and he's going to move 2 spaces. And I suppose we'll move him out here. Okay. Then the recently dead zombie, he's going to roll a d3 plus 1 movement points. So we'll get a d3 out. Okay. And that zombie is going to move a total of 3 plus 1 is 4 movement points for him. All right, 4 movement points. Well, they can definitely try to attack Nikki in the cornfield, but they'd have to roll a 4 plus to find and attack her. And 1, 2, 3, 4. They really can't reach anybody else. 1, 2, 3, 4. They could do that. He could do that. He would be able to reach 1, 2, 3, 4 and crash through the wall into the police station. So that would be an option. Yeah, that's a tough one. There are 3 zombies there, or he goes and attacks Nikki. I think he's probably the zombies would probably try to get Nikki. She doesn't have as much defense. He's got some defense there, so I think I'll have this zombie move 1, 2, and 3 into the cornfield. All right, that's all of the special movement for the zombies. Now we'll do their normal moves. Let's see, we'll move here, there, and I think this zombie will move towards, they can't get out because that door is there, so they'll move that one there. Okay, that will be the extent of the movement, and we'll move on to the fight zombies portion. Now we have to make a roll here. For that zombie, in order to fight Nikki, they have to roll a 4 or greater. So we'll see if that is what's going to happen. And their roll is a 4, so they will be able to have a combat there. We'll leave the dice tower there, and we're going to resolve that combat. All right, the growing hunger card is still active, and that one allows them to roll an extra fight dice. Okay, and that will stay in play until discarded if a hero is killed or turned into a zombie hero. So that they're going to have an extra fight dice pretty much for the rest of the game unless something else happens. So they're going to be rolling 2 dice, and so will Nikki. She'll get her standard 2 dice. She has nothing else to help her. So that's their dice pool for this attack. And here's the roll. And it looks like the zombie won that one. Yep, they won 5-4, and that is going to inflict a wound on Nikki. And the zombies are going to earn their first XP. Now the XP works a little different for the zombies. That kind of goes into the general pool for them, and they can use that to spend for purchasing either feral dead or zombie upgrades. But it's more of a general. It's not to a specific zombie. It's more general, where the zombie upgrade would be more like all zombies for the most part. At least that's how I understand it. So Nikki has taken 1 wound. She's got 2 wound boxes left. And I'm going to place that XP token in the zombie pool as a reminder for us. All right, that ends that fight round. Now they had another card called Angry Dead, and that one says, while this card is in play, anytime a hero loses a fight, reveal and discard the top 3 hero cards. If this discards the last hero card, the heroes automatically lose. So we have to reveal and place in the discard pile. These are the cards, and that is Last Stand, Faith, and Stockpile First Aid. Those are going to go into the discard pile. At this point, the heroes don't have an issue with the hero deck. There's still plenty of cards in there. All right, that's going to conclude the Fight Heroes step. There will be no new zombies. We determined that. And there's no more fire phase. The fire was exhausted last turn, so we'll move on to a hero turn. Okay, I think we're going to start with Johnny. He's kind of blocked in at the police station right now, so he really can't move out without instigating a fight with that rusty axed carrying zombie. So I think what he'll do is, in lieu of movement, he is going to draw a hero card. He's going to search in that building. And he ends up getting jumper cables. All right. And that says the hero may move any zombie beaten in a fight up to 2 spaces in any direction. After use, it breaks on a 1 or 2 discard. All right, well, we'll give him the jumper cables. He has enough space in his carrying limit. That puts him at 3 of 4 right now. And that will complete his movement phase, and he will not be exchanging any items. So I think we'll move on to the ranged attack, and then he can use that dynamite. So Johnny is going to use that dynamite card. he has the emergency flare to light it, and he'll be able to target any space within 2, and he'll target the space in front of the door here. And Johnny's attack will be successful on a 2 or greater. He rolls a 1. Hard to believe, but it happened. All right. In that case, the dynamite is exhausted. That goes into the discard pile. And he gets to keep his emergency flare, though. That was disappointing. And that's going to end Johnny's phase. I think we'll move on to Amanda. She's going to roll for movement. And we'll see what happens with that. She rolls a 4. So all she could do would be to move into that space in front of the police station, or she can search. I guess she'll search. So she'll draw a hero card, and she gets a revolver that has a range of 3. That is great. And she has space for that revolver. That is good. All right. And the next part of her action is going to be exchange items. Now she has a pump shotgun already and now the revolver. So I think she might give one of those to Johnny. And I think we'll give the revolver to Johnny. And that gives him a total of 3 of 4 for his capacity. And she's going to use the pump shotgun, fire out the door, and try to blast that rusty axe yielding zombie. She's going to hit on a 3 or greater. Here's the roll. And she rolls a 4. So the zombie is hit and killed. And she is going to earn an XP token. That is great. Now let's see if these zombies have any cards that would prevent the death of any of their... Play when a zombie is killed by a gun to immediately discard that gun on a d6 roll of 3+. Okay, so they're going to play this out of luck card. And we'll see if that gun is discarded. And she rolled a 5, so that the gun is discarded. So we have to, she's going to lose the pump shotgun again. And that zombie is removed back to the pool, and Amanda's turn is going to end. All right, next up I think will be Nikki, and we'll have her roll for movement. She is in the same space as that recently dead zombie, and that has added movement bonuses to it. So we're going to have her roll a die for movement. See how she does. She rolls a 1 again. Oh boy, now she has a card that addresses that, and that's called, it's a hero upgrade card that says anytime you roll a 1 for move, you may draw a free hero card. All right, so we'll have her draw that free hero card right away. And she ends up getting a hedge trimmer. She finds a hedge trimmer in the cornfield. And that has it's a double-handed item, weapon. And it says the hero may roll 1 extra fight dice for each zombie currently in their space. All right, now she already has a wound on her, so I don't want to have anybody die unnecessarily. So I think she'll just take the card, and I think I'll have her move 1 space towards Father Joe. So she'll move there. And now she's got that hedge trimmer. And that's going to end Nikki's turn. We'll move on to Father Joseph. He is at the farmhouse right now, and we'll have him roll for movement. And we'll see what he can do. Okay, here's his roll. And he rolls a 5. He's got 5 movement points. That's pretty good. All right, I think Father Joe's going to go on the offensive. He has that faith card that gives him a extra fight dice, and he's also got a tire iron which he can use to spend 1 experience point to add or subtract from a single fight die just rolled. And so that, I think he's going to go after one of that standard zombie, and maybe we can get a victory here, and that'll push us a little closer to the number of zombies we need killed. So he's going to move 5. 1, 2, and 3. So he's used his 5 movement points. He's in a space with that zombie now. All right. And we'll go right to the fight zombies phase. Now, as I said, Father Joe gets his normal 2 fight dice. And the zombie's going to get their 1 fight dice. And then Father Joe is going to get an extra die for his faith. And the zombies are going to get an extra die for the growing hunger card that is still active. And so that's the dice pool we've got. Now, Father Joe is able to spend an XP to modify a roll up or down one. So that is a little interesting. Okay, here is the roll. And the zombies rolled 2 6s. Father Joe rolled 2 4s and a 2. So even if he employs that tire iron, he could use that to adjust the, is that just his or an opponent's? Okay, so he could use that to adjust one of the opponents down to 5, but that 6 will still be there. So the zombie's going to win 6 to 4, and that's going to inflict a wound on Father Joseph. So we've marked Father Joseph with a wound. That's one of his 3 boxes. That wasn't what I intended. And that is going to complete Father Joseph's turn, and we'll go on to a new zombie turn. Okay, we start with the Sun Track phase, and we're going to go down to 10 now. There's 10 turns left, and heroes still need 4 zombies killed to win. And now the zombies are going to draw new zombie cards. So they're going to draw 3 cards. And they end up with the following cards. I don't trust them. Play this card at the start of the zombie turn. Until the start of the next zombie turn, heroes may not exchange items. Discard this card. Or play on a hero with keyword strange, and that hero may not exchange items with any other heroes, and that would remain in play. Okay. All right. So none of the characters have the keyword strange, so this will be just in for this during this turn. So no exchanges for the heroes. Next is unstoppable. Prevent all wounds being done to a single zombie from a ranged attack or by an exploding gas marker. All right. So we'll keep that in their pool. And then finally, dead end. Play this card when a hero enters a forest space or a spawning pit. That hero's move immediately ends in the space. All right. Those are the cards. Now we're going to roll to spawn new zombies. Okay, there's 5 zombies on the board, so any roll greater than 5 will spawn. And they rolled a 6, so they've got it. We'll place those dice in the zombie pool to remind us that they will be spawning at the end of the turn. And next up, the zombies are going to move. And let's see, the only zombie that we have with a multiple movement is that recently dead zombie. He is going to be controlled by zombie hunger, so he's going into the space with Nikki. There's no doubt about that. That one is already in position with Father Joe. He's not going to move. This zombie is going to crash in through the door and attack. And this zombie will move, I guess, here. And we've got the one with the rusty axe. And I think he'll probably go more in the center of the board. He can react in either direction. Okay, that's it for the zombie move. So we're going to have 3 combats to resolve. And we'll begin with that combat with the recently dead zombie and Nikki near the barn. Okay, the zombie is going to get their normal die plus 1 extra for growing hunger. So they're going to get 2 dice. Nikki gets her normal 2 dice, and she's also going to get an extra die. Hero may roll an extra fight dice for each zombie currently in their space. So that's the hedge trimmer. So she's going to get a total of 3 dice. And then we'll see what happens with that. Okay, and here's the roll. And we've got a 6, a 4, and a 3. And the zombies rolled 2 1s. So that means Nikki's going to win that 6-1, and she was able to fend off the zombie. She doesn't have doubles, though, in order to get the kill shot. So that will end that combat. Next up is the combat with Father Joe. It's a standard zombie. So that zombie will be getting 2 fight dice, 1 regular and 1 for the growing hunger. And Father Joe is going to get his 2 normal dice plus 1 for the faith. And he also has that tire iron. And if he chooses to, he can spend 1 experience token to add or subtract either from his die or from the zombie's dice. All right, we're going to make that roll and see what happens. All right. Father Joe had a 5, a 3, and a 1. The zombies had a 5 and a 3. So as it stands now, they would be tied, and Father Joe is going to lose. So I guess what he's going to do, he is going to spend 1 of his XP, and he's going to use that tire iron. And that's going to allow him to add or subtract 1 from either dice, his or the zombie's die. And he'll obviously use that to reduce the zombie's die to a 4. So he's going to win 5-4, and he would fend off that zombie. Now we have to make a roll to see if it breaks. And we'll make a roll for that. It's going to break on a 1 or 2. And yep, he rolled a 2, so the tire iron broke when he wrapped it around that zombie's neck. Okay, so we will discard the tire iron, but Father Joe did not take a wound at least, so that's good. And lastly, we have a zombie with a sickle attacking into the police station where Johnny and Amanda are. Now, since we outnumber the zombie, we can pick who is going to fight. Now that sickle is going to give the zombie an extra fight dice, and he can force the hero to re-roll 1 of their fight dice. So that's quite powerful. All right. Now before we do that, I just noticed that Amanda has that flashlight and pitchfork. And that says that anytime a zombie tries to move into a hero's space, they must first roll a 4 or greater on a d6. Otherwise, the zombie move ends in the adjacent space. All right, well, we'll make the roll for them. So they need to roll a 4 or greater in order to enter. And they did not. They rolled a 3. So in reality, that zombie would have been outside. It would not have been able to get in. She was able to keep it at bay with the pitchfork. And now the zombies are going to roll to spawn new zombies. And they rolled a 2, so they've got 2 spawn points. All right. And I think they're going to just spawn 2 standard zombies. They'll put 1 in the barn, which will be close to Nikki. And I think another one maybe in the junkyard. Because the heroes, if they can get out, they'll probably want to try to get into that area, I would think. So that sounds good there. There's no fire step, so we'll end the zombie turn and we'll move on to a hero turn. And I think we're going to begin with Nikki. She's near the barn up there and near the cornfield. I'll have her roll for move, and we'll see what she can get with that. And she rolls a 4, so she's got 4 movement points. And we'll see what we can do with that. And let's see if we can get her into the gas station. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that'll work. So we'll move her 1, 2, 3, and 4. She enters into the gas station, and we'll flip the exploration token. That's a free search, so she gets a card. And that is revealed to be a sledgehammer. Double-handed. Okay, it's a double... Nah, she already has a double-handed weapon already. And so we would have to choose between the sledgehammer or her hedge trimmer. And the hedge trimmer gives us 1 extra fight dice per zombie in the space. This would you only use a single die, and on a 4, 5, or 6, it's an instant kill. I think we'll stick with the hedge trimmer. So this one will go into the discard pile. And Nikki has no ranged weapons, and we cannot exchange this turn because of that zombie card that prevents us from doing that. I don't trust him card. So we'll mark Nikki previously activated, and we'll move on to, I think, Father Joe. Father Joe is going to roll for movement, and he rolls a 1. Okay. So his choice would be to either stay where he is and fight that standard zombie or move. I think he has to move because that other zombie is going to swarm him. So I think we'll have Father Joe move towards the airplane hangar. And that's pretty much going to end his turn. So we'll mark him as previously activated. And now we've got Amanda and Johnny, and they're holed up in the police station. Now both of them have ranged weapons. Is that correct? No, just Johnny. He has a revolver. So I think we'll start with Amanda, and we'll see how far she can move. So we'll get her a roll for movement. And then Johnny can follow kind of in her footsteps, maybe. Okay, here's the roll. And she rolled a 6, so she's got lots of movement available. And I think we'll probably want to get out of that police station. And let's see if we can maybe get her to the diner. Is that possible? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not enough there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, we can't get her into the diner. She could go into the graveyard, but they're probably going to spawn a zombie there. Yeah, I guess yeah, that's kind of in a bad area too. Well, we'll just move her out kind of in a safe area, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. Johnny's going to be moving in her space, and his revolver has a range of 3. 1, 2. So he'd still have. That's good. So we'll move her there, and that's pretty much going to end her turn. She has no ranged weapons. We'll move on to Johnny's turn now. Okay, Johnny's rolling for movement, and he only rolled a 2. All right. Well, he can stay where he is, and that just would allow him to search. But, yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, I think he'll... Yeah, I think we'll have him move out. 1, 2, 3. He'll move in front of the church. And then during the ranged attack step, he's going to use his revolver. Johnny's going to exercise his revolver skills, and I think he'll target this rusty axe carrying zombie. Range is 2. He's going to hit on a roll of 4 or better. On a roll of 1, the revolver is out of ammo and discarded. So we don't make a separate roll for the revolver for ammunition like on a normal weapon. If the roll is a 1, it's just discarded. So we need to roll a 4 or greater to get a hit. Okay, here's Johnny's roll with the revolver. He rolled a 2, so he'll retain possession of the revolver, but it was a miss. And that's pretty much going to end Johnny's turn, and we're going to move on with the new zombie turn. Okay, the sun track is now down to 9, so we got 9 turns to get 4 zombie kills. It's getting kind of harder now to kill these things for some reason. And the next step is to draw new zombie cards. And the zombies pull the cards. We've got to reach the play at the start of a zombie turn to choose a building. While this card is in play, cancel any hero search action on a roll of D6, on a D6 roll of 1, 2, or 3. Discard this card if any hero enters the chosen building, or if that building is taken over or destroyed, remains in play. Well, I think the best place to play that is probably in the barn. So we'll put that in the barn, and the heroes would have to reach this space I'll just leave that on the, I think, right on the board. It'll be a good reminder. If the heroes don't reach that space, they cannot search in buildings unless they can make a die roll of 1, 2, they could be canceled on a 1, 2, or 3. So every time they try to search in a building, they have to roll d6. On a 1, 2, or 3, the search is canceled until they visit that location. So that's a pretty good card for them. The next card is Fire. Play immediately. Fire breaks out. Place a fire marker in any empty space adjacent to a zombie. All right, let's see where we're going to place that fire. And I think the zombies will probably start that fire in the cornfield because that's kind of a defensive area. And if we could have that fire spread, that would prohibit the heroes from going in there. So we'll start it in that, it's got to be adjacent. We'll put it right there. It's adjacent to a zombie. And then finally, they have another card called Hungry Dead, and that is a sacrifice card. Remove 3 zombies from anywhere on the board, and then this card will remain in play. Anytime a hero loses a fight to a zombie, the zombie player may immediately draw a zombie card. They'd have to remove 3 zombies from the board. Well, that's a pretty good card. I don't know. That's a tough one. They're going to be spawning zombies this turn, so I think we'll do that. We'll eliminate 3 standard zombies. And then that Hungry Dead card will be active. And then if anytime a hero loses a fight to a zombie, the zombie player immediately draws a zombie card. I think we'll do that. All right, those are going to go back into the pool. Okay, next up is going to be roll to spawn new zombies. Did we do that already? No, we didn't. These dice were left over from the previous turn. That was the problem. Okay, so now we have to roll to spawn new zombies. Now there's only 3 zombies on the board, so any roll greater than 3 is going to spawn them. And their roll is 9, so they've got no problems with that. They're definitely going to be spawning zombies this turn, so we'll put those into the zombie pool as a reminder. And now we're going to move on to move zombies. And let's see, the only zombie that has variable movement is that recently dead zombie, and he rolls a d3 plus 1 for movement points. So we'll have him do that. And he rolled a 3, so he's going to have another 4 movement points to use. And he's got 2 wounded characters. There's Father Joe and Nikki. I think he'll go after Father Joe. Nikki has that hedge trimmer, and Father Joe has the faith. So either way, they're going to be getting an extra fight dice. I think he'll go after Father Joe. So he's got a total of 4 movement points. He's going to move 1, 2, and 3, and he'll attack him there. The zombie in the junkyard will move towards Nikki, and the zombie with the sickle will move towards these 2 heroes there, and I think the same thing that way with the rusty axe zombie. So we're going to have 1 combat this turn. We'll do that right now. Okay, so we have a recently dead zombie attacking Father Joe. All right. The recently dead zombie is going to gain his normal fight dice. He gets 1 extra for that growing hunger. And let's see if there's anything else here. Nothing that's going to give him any dice. So he's going to have 2 dice. Father Joe will have his normal 2 and 1 extra for his faith. So he'll be rolling a total of 3 dice. And we'll see what happens with that fight. All right. Father Joe rolled a 6, 6, and a 5. The zombies rolled 2 2s. So let's see what happens with this. He would win 6-2, and he also has doubles. So that is he'll kill the zombie. That's a hit. All right. All right, so that zombie is dead. And the zombie track is going to move up from 11 to 12, so we only need 3 more zombies killed. Father Joe is going to earn himself another XP, and that will complete the zombie fight step. And now the zombies are going to roll to place new zombies, and they end up with a total of 3 spawn points. And I think they're going to place 3 standard zombies. They need some numbers on the board. And I think they'll place 1 at the junkyard, 1 in the barn, and another one I think in the graveyard. Okay, then we have our fire step now. This is a new fire, so we're going to flip that to an existing fire. And that's going to end the zombie turn. And that's going to conclude turn 9. And I think we're going to end the video here. We're getting a little long on this. And I'll upload this. And then we will return with probably the final chapter, I would think, in the next episode. And then once that's done, we'll go through the campaign procedure for a win or loss. And then we'll probably put this on the shelf for a little bit. And then I have another game that I'd like to bring out to the channel. And then we will periodically return with this ongoing campaign. I think that will work out pretty well. Well, thanks for joining me at the Solo Gamers Club. And I hope to see you next time for the 3rd installment of this first scenario. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.